It's been a long time. Come on. Yeah. Hey, yo, it's my life, my time, my rights, my rhymes, my grind, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood too. A predator smells fear, I smell a lot. My competitors fled scared, cause they smelled I was hot. I want it all, excess, the sex, and much success. Stress us, I want it all, no less. So come on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putty, and welcome to a very special King of the Ring semi-final edition of Tuesday Night SmackDown. 3 hours being simulcast on the WWE Network right now, along with all of our great providers in Mexico, in the United States, in Canada, and across the world. Welcome to Tuesday Night SmackDown. Tonight we determine the two entrants from SmackDown into the King of the Ring this Sunday, as well as we have been promised an explanation from John Cena. And in the main event of the evening, Sami Zayn gets his rematch against Chris Hero for the WWE Championship. Lots of shit happening. It is our go home to King of the Ring. It is actually a longer show than King of the Ring. Let's get into it. We're in Madison Square Garden.
Let us get into it.
So the women have a pre-show match because they couldn't fit them on the show.
Boo, Putty, boo.
I'm sorry.
They do really well, too.
Oh, yeah, of course. These are my girls.
Alexa Bliss beats Bayley with a sparkle.
I don't think I said a winner in this one. It was a pre-show. It's fucking not canon.
No.
All right, we're opening the show with Big
lie.
Brawl, guys.
Don't lie.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I naturally set road agent notes a lot of the time.
There we go.
I'm not going to make a play out of this. I see guys walk through that curtain, come out here and dance around, play with you guys. That's not what I like to do. Partially because this is a fighting company. And partially because I like to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I like to call my shots. But this story does require a little bit of fluff. I got to explain to you the why of things, not just the what. When I took over SmackDown in 2016, I had a vision. A vision of a place, a home, where the absolute best wrestlers in the world could come and prove to everyone that they are the best. I envisioned a home that would give opportunities to everyone. It doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. You could come here and be successful if you were good enough. You don't know why I did that? Regret. That's right, there wasn't this huge feeling of good-heartedness. It was about something deeper. See, in 2005, I won my first world title, and I held it for over 9 months. I lost in dubious circumstances, but still felt on top of my game. Less than a month later, I won the title back. I came out of 2006 as clearly the man. I held the title in my third reign for over a year. I didn't lose it that time. Nobody was on my level, but I got hurt. I thought back then I had to rush back, that I had to get back and prove to the world that I still got it, but that was the biggest mistake of my life. I returned after that injury, and I have never been the same. I won the world title 12 times since then, and none of those reigns have been good reigns. They've been short. They've been testing. They've been weak. I lost to Sheamus because I fell over. I couldn't defend my way of life against CM Punk, and I couldn't stop the dominance of Brock Lesnar. John Cena after 2008 is nowhere near on the level of John Cena before that injury. Before that injury, I was not just the best in the WWE at the time. Not just the best in the world at the time. I was the best wrestler of all time. And it's not even close. Not a single person in the history of professional wrestling could hold a candle to John Cena. That John Cena. Not one. If I hadn't rushed back from that injury and messed up my body like I did, I would have so much more now than I do. I would have such a better career. It drives me insane that we lost that guy. Someone with real potential to do great things. And what makes it worse is that nobody was able to fill that power gap. Not in over 10 years has anyone come anywhere close to that guy. Randy Orton's great, but he got trounced by me multiple times before my injury. Daniel Bryan, amazing. But even without his injury problems, he's too inconsistent on the bigger stages. Roman Reigns is a career choke artist. Now, I like the guy, but he just can't win the big one. Nobody's come close. Nobody in the WWE has been capable of blazing that trail and being the guy that I was before the injury. So I set out, I broke off, and I changed the environment. SmackDown was my chance to make that guy. I brought in everyone, no matter who they were, in the hopes that someone out there was a gem that I was looking for. The early months didn't look too promising. My first idea, Samoa Joe, failed to even beat Roman Reigns, some destroyer he turned out to be. So I stumbled across a concept. I did some research and I developed something. The real way to pull the best out of people, to make them capable of far more, is to set them up with adversity. Give them some great evil to fight. I thought if I could give the guys and girls of SmackDown something to fight for, something worth fighting for, and more importantly, someone worth fighting against, that they would evolve and somebody would ascend. I gave Chris Hero and Tommy End a call. I knew Chris for a few years and thought he was the perfect guy for the job. He could share my vision and would be willing to do whatever it takes. Tommy was recommended to me by Chris after a little while. After a few days of planning, Chris suggested we get Antonio Cesaro on side. I didn't want to tell him the plan as to not have too many failure points and people in the know, but I told him if he could get on board without telling him, I'd greenlight it. Kings eventually die. And he laughs. Interesting ideology there. I think a lot of people they ended up making enemies out of would have agreed with them if their methods weren't so extreme. But it was perfect. They were the enemies of the brand. They terrorized them. And we began to see splinter groups forming. People began to rise up and get better. So I decided to enter the Royal Rumble and win it because, of course, I did that in order to test someone. Maybe it would be Cesaro. Maybe it would be someone else. But whoever it was, if they could beat me, maybe we'd be onto something finally. That guy ended up being AJ Styles, and boy, did he live up to the position. What a competitor that guy is. Probably the greatest wrestler in the world today. I think on a good day, he could literally beat anyone on the planet. No doubt. He beat me and another idea sprung up in my head. Maybe we could escalate the concept. If AJ Styles is what sprung up from Kings Eventually Die, what if I could make a Kings Eventually Die with AJ Styles? Who would spring up from that? AJ didn't know the whole plan. All I told him was to fortify himself, do whatever it takes, and use extreme methods. He defaulted to building a group because that's in human nature. People think there's strength in numbers, but they don't realize that everyone in that number gets the strength. So the magnificent SmackDown 7 was born. And he laughs again. Wrestling stables do have the silliest names, don't they? I took a back seat. I planted the seeds in guys like Gargano and Sabre Jr., thinking they would be the guys to really spring up out of this and become something great. I sent a few nuisances their way. I set up a meeting between Summer Rae and Daniel Bryan, knowing she may have some negative feelings towards SmackDown. That worked out far better than I was expecting. I also saw how much of a psycho Tommaso Ciampa was in NXT and thought it would be pretty handy to have him around. That one was a mistake. I think he kept Gargano too busy for too long. Throughout the summer, I kept an eye, hoping that someone cool would spring up and break down those barriers around AJ, really become something great. And someone did. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is not a champion. The dude is a bulky 210 on a good day. Fights for these silly ideals and external values. Like he wants everyone to just get along. I spent 2 years realizing and proving that conflict and hatred is what breeds success. And he comes along and tries to say cooperation is all people need. He tries to undo everything I have tried to accomplish. And he tries to destroy my SmackDown, my home. It infuriated me. I created him, and he tried to undo everything. But it was fine. AJ was screwing him over with my help behind the scenes. Every step of the way, I thought he'd give up. After we destroyed his morale in the early summer, I thought he'd just give up the money in the bank to someone else and go home. But he didn't. He stole the SummerSlam main event with his bullshit. Then we screwed him over at SummerSlam, and I thought it'd be done, but he wouldn't stay down. He wouldn't stay down. He would not give up. Kept pissing me off. So bad, so bad. But I thought it was okay. Because AJ Styles is an amazing professional wrestler, so I had nothing to worry about. Until Sami won the title. And that was the worst day of my life. It felt like everything I had been working towards for my entire career had been destroyed in front of my eyes. I had to correct that mistake. So when Regal got worried about Hero, Regal had no idea about Hero or anything I'd been doing over the last few years. I, of course, volunteered to referee the match. I think you know the rest. I'm not a bad guy. In fact, I'm the good guy in this story. All I want is for the world to finally get a worthy successor, a worthy challenger to break down this industry and create something great. All I want is what's best for professional wrestling. Sure, I may have misled a few people. Sure, some of my co-workers may have used unsavory tactics. But my motives were pure, and I love this industry. So we're going to complete the project. At WrestleMania, if a Raw superstar wins King of the Ring this Sunday, then I will face Chris Hero. If a SmackDown superstar wins King of the Ring, then I will test them and make sure they're ready next Sunday at No Way Out. That's it.
Oh. Holy fucking shit. This is like if I could do this on screen, because we cut out just as I was about to say whatever I was gonna say, so I ended up saying it off screen. But I will say this part at least. That is genuinely the most. It's just the best. I don't know. Like, is it like a story? Is it a?
It's the entire brand, right? Like this is it's essentially the whole reason the brand was created, in kayfabe, was this. It's the entire series essentially.
We still don't really know how John Cena bought SmackDown. We just know he did.
It's very complicated.
But holy shit!
Involved a timeshare. Shane was involved.
Yeah.
Otunga had some work for weeks.
Holy shit! All right, here we go. Oh goddamn.
Okay, grooming session gone wrong. Number 4, the Shock You Tucker hates her.
I do.
Chris Hero is like backstage. He's like, getting his gear patterned as the commentators put over line. Tonight's main event of the evening. Chris Hero will take on Sami Zayn, and then Chris Hero walks into his bathroom. The shower is running. He looks around, and his extravagant mirror wall is just entirely shattered. The mirrors are just completely shattered. It's weird. He turns around, he looks in the shower. The shower, instead of pouring water, is pouring blood.
Oh my god.
And Hero's like, I know what this is, and runs off. I've seen this before.
He's like, it's my friend Clarence.
Clarence, you gotta stop doing this shit, man.
Always breaks the windows and puts blood in your shower.
Fucking Clarence.
All right, here we go.
And there is some analysis. So let's take a look at the table.
Oh, goddamn. Hopefully I hit the right one. Should be the top one. It is.
Yay. So Lenny and Daniel Bryan go over the routes to the finals for people. We're not going to cover the Money in the Bank stuff, but there are a few routes to the finals. So Gargano could make it to the final. Gargano's made it to the finals. Rusev needs to not lose. No. I think, Rusev needs to not lose, and then he will go through. So a draw or a victory will send him through. If Rusev loses in the main event, and other things have happened, there is a chance for Zack and Roderick to go through. Roddy needs to win, and he needs Zack not to win, and Rusev not to win. And then if Zack wins, Roddy's out. Zack's match is up first against Pentagon Jr. So if Zack wins and Rusev doesn't win... if Zack wins and Rusev loses... There you go. Zack is through.
Okay.
There you go. Let's open it up. Zack versus Pent.
I think Zack's got this one.
I think Zack's got this one.
God damn it, Pent. You terrible bastard.
And Zack Sabre Jr., with bad chemistry, this was a great grade.
Yeah.
Defeated Pentagon Jr. by submission with a hurrah, another year. Surely this one would be better than the last. The honorable march to progress will lead us all to happiness.
Well done, sir. Well done,
Thank
sir.
you. Appreciate it.
And so Zack goes
if that's
through.
Correct, I've memorized it.
Does
Zack,
he?
No, Zack doesn't go through.
Depends on... Okay, Roderick Strong
Rusev.
is out, though.
Roderick Strong is out. Rusev draws or wins, Rusev is through. But if Rusev loses, Zack is through. Zack was second from bottom 4 weeks in.
Jesus.
And now he is one loss from Rusev away from going to the finals. It is one of the most remarkable comebacks in King of the Ring history. John Cena had a really good comeback last year. I think this one's better if he goes through.
And here we go to the next match.
Carl Anderson versus Matthew Riddle.
All right, here we go.
So we have a wonderful grapple fest from Carl and Matt. Carl is viciously targeting the knee, ends up winning with a gun stun when Riddle goes for a German suplex, but his knee caves in, can't finish the deadlift German because he's selling the leg, and Riddle hits and Anderson hits him with a gun stun. But Riddle's really hurt. His leg is really badly damaged by the looks.
Oh shit! Oh
Yeah.
no, that's not good. Like Shinsuke levels of damage, where like
Not Shinsuke levels of damage. It hasn't been like that badly affected over 2 weeks of like fuck you Shinsuke like attacks, but it's hurt. It's really badly hurt. He's probably gonna need medical attention. And in fact, we have an angle after this
Oh no.
where like Carl is celebrating for a little bit, but then he just looks at Riddle and is like, "Well, that leg don't look right," because obviously Riddle tried to deadlift German Carl, and you know, as this is how wrestling works. If you try to deadlift German someone after your knee has been focused all match, it doesn't work. So his knee just is really, really badly down.
Putty, I'm sorry. Last time I checked, there is one certain wrestler who can just deadlift German somebody after their leg is worked over the entire match.
Yeah, we don't talk about him.
Oh, do we? Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, Carl is like, are you okay? And like, he just gives a bit of respect, like, you know.
Oh man, Carl showing some like human emotion.
Right, and then Riddle does a stretcher job, and it's not looking good.
For whatever reason that you were saying, and then Riddle stands up, punches him, fakes the injury. I'm like, oh man! I was like, heel turn for Riddle, double turn.
Riddle does a stretcher job.
As we move into, what do we have up next?
1 second. It is Kenny Omega, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Ooh, so this should just be a good match overall. And what do we get here? Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Omega defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi with a one-winged angel. Good stuff from Omega, probably guaranteeing himself a Money in the Bank slot there.
It's good stuff from Omega, yeah. He's got the job done tonight.
Yep, definitely.
Like, you know, somebody needs to get the job done tonight.
Rusev.
Mm-hmm. And Sami Zayn.
And Sami Zayn.
And Chris Hero. Jesus, why does everybody have to get jobs done?
Because that's how real life works, Tucker. Gotta do a job.
Gotta do a job. As what do we have up next?
Intermission.
Ooh, an intermission, folks.
Johnny Gargano goes backstage and he says, "You know what, Rusev, not Chris. You know what, Rusev? Don't think just because I'm through that I'm going to take it easy on you tonight, all right? I want to get as many points as humanly possible. I've had a great tournament, and I am going to go all the way to make sure that I win. And also, an added bonus, my friend Zack Sabre Jr. is depending on my victory tonight, and so don't worry, I'm going to try my hardest." And we can give him a new gimmick. He's changing from old school face to old school heel. No, other way around.
Oh.
Okay, that's okay.
So we move into... Oh.
So yeah, so backstage, Johnny goes to Tommy Enda. He's just, you know, Tommy Enda is now Johnny's, like, favorite talk buddy. And he's like, Tommy, you know, I don't like the way that Riddle landed out there. It looks really nasty. I think I'm actually going to go with him to the hospital and make sure he's okay. And Tommy, before he can respond, Chris Hero walks in and he says, "Are you mad, John? Have you seen all of these weird things going around backstage? You know who that is, right? You know who that is. That's The Undertaker. The same shit happened last year.
Oh, no.
Same shit happened last year. He's coming after me, John.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't need you running off to the hospital to check on Matthew Riddle while I'm being hunted by some sort of creature. Okay? You're going to stay here and help me out." And John's like, "It's okay, Chris. It's all right. First of all, you're a big boy now, and you can handle your own battles. But second of all, I'm not going to be that long. I'm going to head to the hospital. I'm going to make sure he's okay, and I'm going to come back, all right? Nothing's going to happen." And Chris is like, "All right, but if you fucking leave me out there, and I'm not going to forgive you, John." John's like, "All right, I'll be back. Don't worry about it."
All right, but before we head on, folks, we're just going to take a quick second here.
Okay, let's move on.
That we shall. Oh, man, here
So
we
have
go.
the introductions for AJ Styles, Roderick Strong. Big match. We've had this match before recently, obviously, but some more kind of juice on this fire.
It's
as
true.
Of course, Roderick Strong was replaced by AJ Styles in the Magnificent SmackDown 7.
Oh, yeah, wow. Who do you got taking this one, Putty?
Well, Roddy won back in December at Armageddon, and I've got to go with repetition. I think Roddy's got his number.
Yeah, especially with AJ having a bit of a downer month. Rest in peace, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Poor Shinsuke. Yeah, so AJ Styles defeats Roderick Strong with a Styles clash. Yeah.
Wow. AJ getting it done.
Yeah, AJ getting it done.
And
actually equals Roddy's points, but Roddy will go through to the Money in the Bank because AJ's got a disadvantaged seed because of his replacement status.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So we have the introductions for our main event. No, we don't.
I was about to say, I'm like,
Backstage,
that's not what it looks like, Putty.
backstage, Zack Sabre Jr. is watching the monitor very closely as the two men on screen enter.
Why is this?
'Cause
Oh, right. Rusev has to
loses,
lose in order. My bad. For some reason, I was thinking Roderick had to lose in order to. But
You're very confused about the points. It's probably because I've done a bad job explaining.
You
it over the
did.
last
You did a
weeks.
really bad job explaining. I will not
No,
lie.
you did do a bad job explaining it last week. I thought,
this week
I've
too.
got a chance to do it this week, and it's terrible again.
Yeah,
It's
this
because
week.
fucking groups are complicated. It happens in real life too. It's tough.
That's why you do single
Fucking
elimination.
Hey, Kevin Kelly fucking fucked up the G1 coverage last
Oh
year. From what I
yeah,
heard.
but Putty, I expect more to you than I do from Kevin Kelly.
You shouldn't.
As introductions, indeed.
Introductions for our main event. Rusev, Gargano. Gargano wins.
Not the main event, the King of the Ring main event.
King of the Ring main event.
Yes.
Rusev, if he wins, he's through to the semi-finals, and we could see this match again on Sunday.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I think Rusev's going to pick it up. He's first seed. He hasn't had the best run of matches, but I think he's going to pick up the win.
This is tough.
If Sabre somehow goes through the semifinals after having such a bad start, I would be so shocked, and I just don't think it's going to happen. Too much should have to line up, and this is the last step, sure, but I think he'll fail here.
I do have to agree, but there's the ultimate equalizer. Everything that you just said, and it's 2 words, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Is it the hammer?
No, it's winning mentality. So yes,
Gargano hasn't been doing his cheating a lot lately, which I respect. He's been winning matches without it.
If you're right, and he's already through, isn't he?
He is already through, but he said earlier that he would fight his hardest.
Oh, well, fighting his hardest, knowing Johnny Gargano, that'll be at any means necessary.
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out, indeed.
Let's find out. In our King of the Ring main event of the evening, Johnny Gargano defeated Rusev with a Gargano escape. No cheating. No need to cheat, baby. Because Johnny Wrestling's on 14 points. And Zack Sabre Jr.
Holy shit.
will go through to Sunday, where he will take on The Miz.
Wow. And so, yeah,
Whereas
we can...
Johnny Gargano is going to be taking on Drew Galloway.
Oh, shit. That was teased at the Survivor Series.
Okay.
It was.
I forget.
It's that continuity, everybody. We teased this all the way back.
Explain it because I don't remember it at all.
In the Raw vs. SmackDown elimination match, Gargano.
They had a bit of a grapple, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They had quite a bit of a grapple. It was about 6-8 minutes long. It was it's really, really fun.
Cool, we get to see the full version of that match.
That we do as we head into man.
So John Cena's heading backstage. So Chris Hero's backstage pacing back and forth, and he's like, "Where's John? Where's John? Where's John?" And then footage is shown from earlier when John was going to the hospital. He gets in the car, in the limo. He's in the back. Suddenly, the middle part of the limo drops down, and the Undertaker looks back and says, "Buckle up, Johnny."
Oh my god.
And they drive off out of the car park. And Chris Hero is seeing this footage on the screen in the locker room, and he's just losing his shit. He's like, "I gotta face Sami Zayn, and the Undertaker has kidnapped my leader, and I don't know what to do." And he's really freaking out.
And what do we have here? Oh man,
Sami
it's
Zayn
time.
makes his entrance, and Chris Hero has to defend his title.
It's time, folks. It's time.
Our main event of the evening. In our main event of the evening, Sami Zayn defeats Chris Hero by disqualification.
Aww.
Because they have a reasonable back and forth in the match. Chris Hero seems to have the advantage. And think Battleground 2016 or 15, whatever it was, when the lights just go off. Taker's there. He kicks Hero in the dick. He picks up the title, steps on Hero's corpse. Doesn't give a shit about Sami, costing Sami his title. So he's the fucking Undertaker. He don't care. Just stands over Chris Hero and says, "You're next, Hero," and he does the rest in peace thing.
I think it was intentional.
What, he fucked over Sami?
Yeah. Think about it. The Undertaker, what more would you want from a guy that did Hero didn't win last year, did he, at Mania?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. But Hero did definitely walk out. We'll go like this. As much as Hero did lose, The Undertaker did not win that match, per se.
Yeah, there were no winners in that match.
Yeah.
Because Hero was the man who walked out, is I think what you were going to say.
Yeah, it's more or less what I'm implying. But
And Taker didn't really... Because the point of that match last year was Taker wanted vengeance. Because back in Armageddon 2016, Chris had pinned Taker during the KED versus Brothers Armageddon. No, what's their name? Brothers of
Destruction. Brothers of Armageddon.
I know, right? But Chris had pinned Taker with a tombstone piledriver. And Taker wanted to avenge that. And because it was a very indecisive win last year at Mania, Taker didn't feel like he had properly gotten his vengeance.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he wants to ultimately, get that vengeance and, I want to say even a little bit embarrass Chris Hero. Take his title.
Is he going to get that vengeance this Sunday? Is he going to get that vengeance at No Way Out? Is he going to get that vengeance at WrestleMania? Or are we going to have to wait till June at the Vengeance pay-per-view?
Oh, shit.
When Vengeance usually occurs.
Vengeance is a Raw pay-per-view, though.
It is, but Taker has shown he gives zero shits about appearing on whatever brand
This
he
man,
wants.
This man does not care. That man does
Hero's
not care.
been a bit of a brand jumper himself.
He has. He was apparently illegally signed to Raw. I don't know. We even had David Otunga look over the contract. He was pretty certain he was a Raw guy, but no, apparently not.
Nope. Because he cannot, in contract, you cannot buy something that doesn't exist. And Chris Hero's services did not exist because he was a contracted SmackDown superstar.
Oh, and you want to know what else it was, too?
What's up, bro?
David Otunga intentionally said that it was legal to try to get Vince into legal issues because, as we've seen, he was working for Shane McMahon all along.
Okay, so we end the show tonight. Oh, no, there's oh, yeah, of course. Taker just picks up Hero, tombstones him, kicks him in the dick again, and then picks up the title.
Wow. Wow.
Nice. We're going into King of the Ring strong. I really like this show.
Yeah. Holy shit, buddy.
So I hope you guys did too. Thank you all for watching. We will see you this Sunday, and it is the end of our fucking long week. So thanks for Tucker. You've worked really hard this week.
Thank you.
And hopefully you guys will see some more content after King of the Ring. But we'll see you for King of the Ring, which we are recording now. And yeah. I'm tired. It's okay.
Oh, God. This is why I want to retire. Hi, everyone. This is awkward.
We fucked up. We forgot to show the final table. Usually I wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I decided because it is the final table that I wanted to get it on video somewhere.
This is at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. We just finished the King of the Ring pay-per-view.
Yeah, I realized that we didn't show it, so I thought, we'll go back, record it, tack it on to SmackDown.
Yeah. If this is tacked on to King of the Ring, I fucked up.
Yes, he fucked up. But hopefully he won't. I'll remind him today and tomorrow. But he is on a tight time schedule.
I am.
But anyway, let's just. There's not too much analysis to do here.
Ooh.
I know it's been a while. Aside from the obvious 9/11 in there.
Oh man. AJ Styles did 9/11, everybody.
One thing to mention, though, is that in natural tournament rules, AJ Styles would be ahead of Roderick Strong because he beat him on head-to-head record.
Well, also, naturally, AJ Styles would have 11 points, but...
Naturally, Shinsuke Nakamura...
That's true.
...would have gone to the semi-finals.
Naturally, Shinsuke Nakamura would still be employed at the company. What?
But AJ... Because he has what is called a disadvantaged seed at the moment, so he's not seed 2. He's basically seed 11, because he was a replacement, and so in any situation where he's level on points with someone, he's going to be below them. So, for an example, if he had 10 points right now, he would be in Money in the Bank. If he had 15 points right now, he would be top of the table. But if he had 14 points, he would be second. If he had 11, he would be third. And because he has 9 and he's at a disadvantaged seed, he is below Roderick Strong. So that is your final situation. Johnny Gargano is going to go on to fight Drew Galloway on Sunday. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to go on to fight The Miz on Sunday. And Rusev, Kenny Omega, and Roderick Strong are your SmackDown Money in the Bank entrants this year.
We'll see you guys for King of the Ring, right?
Yes, on Sunday. So see you guys.
See you guys there.